All right, so today we're going to tackle a question that, most of us think we have the answer to, but the real meaning behind it, well, that unlocks a totally new way of seeing the world. So let me ask you, when you hear that word, geography, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, I'm guessing it's flashbacks to school, right? Memorizing capitals, staring at maps, maybe some pub quiz trivia. But here's the thing. The real deal is so much more than that. It's this incredibly dynamic, absolutely essential science that goes way, way beyond just coloring in maps. So let's dig in and get to the true heart of what geography is all about. And to really get it, you've got to go back. I mean, way back to the beginning, to the ancient Greeks, who actually came up with the name for this whole field. So the guy we have to thank for the term is a Greek scholar named Eratosthenes. And where the word comes from is just beautifully simple. It's two Greek roots, geo, which means earth, and graphos, which means description. So at its most basic, rock-bottom level, geography literally means a description of the earth. But it didn't stop there. Pretty quickly, scholars added a really crucial layer to that. They didn't just see the earth as, a big rock floating in space. They saw it as our home. So the whole subject became about describing the earth specifically as the abode of human beings. That focus on people is absolutely key. Okay, but just describing stuff is really only a starting point, right? That alone doesn't make something a science. To become the powerhouse discipline it is today, geography had to start asking much, much deeper questions. So the first question is, what? This is kind of like the inventory stage. What's actually out there? What mountains do we have? What rivers? What cities? What kinds of farms? It's all about identifying the stuff, both natural and human-made, that we find all over the planet. And once you know what's there, the next logical question is, of course, where? Okay, we've got these features, but where are they? This deals with how everything is spread out, its location. Where are the world's biggest deserts? Where are the most densely populated areas? Now, just identifying and mapping things is super useful. And honestly, for a long time, that was pretty much what geography was. But it was the third question. That's the one that really elevated the whole game. Why? That's it. This little three-letter word is the absolute game changer. Why are those mountains located right there? Why did this city flourish in this specific spot and not 10 miles down the road? Why is that forest shrinking? This is the question that hunts for explanations, that uncovers the cause and effect behind everything. So, you can see this beautiful logical flow. Geographers start by identifying a pattern with what? Then they map out where it is with where. And then, and this is the most important part, they investigate all the connections with why. It's this constant, relentless search for why that really makes geography a science. And that search for why means that geographers can't just work in a bubble. In fact, one of geography's greatest superpowers is its role as a master connector, a discipline that's designed to bring all these other fields of knowledge together. Just think about it for a second. If you want to understand why mountains and valleys are where they are, you've got to draw on geology, right? If you want to get why certain industries pop up in certain places and understand trade routes, well, you're going to have to pull in economics. And you absolutely positively cannot understand why a place is the way it is today without looking at its past. So you have to look to history. And to figure out anything about ecosystems or farming, you're relying on fields like climatology. You see what I mean? Geography doesn't live in a silo. It's the thread that pulls everything together. This quote just nails it perfectly. It says that while history is trying to piece together the story of time, a temporal synthesis, geography is piecing together the story of space, a spatial synthesis. It looks at all these different pieces of the puzzle and asks, how do they all come together right here in this one place to create the world we can actually see and touch? Okay, so with a field this huge, how do geographers actually get started? How do they approach their work? Well, they mainly use two major approaches, like two different lenses for looking at the world. The first one is called systematic geography. This is where you pick one specific topic, say rainforests, or maybe a certain type of city, and you study it across the entire globe to find the big overarching patterns. The other approach is regional geography. This one flips the lens. It zooms in on one specific region, like say the Amazon basin, and studies all of its interconnected parts, from the climate and the soil to the culture and the economy. And that systematic approach gives us this really clear breakdown of the discipline's main branches.
You've got physical geography, which studies the natural world. Then there's human geography, which focuses on us and everything we do. And biogeography, which is this cool bridge between the two, studying where all the plants and animals live. And as you can see, each of these splits off into its own fascinating deep dives.
So we know what it is, we know how it works, but let's get to the big question. Why does geography matter so much right here and right now? Well, the answer's all tied up in this really complex relationship between us and our planet.
There is this metaphor from our source material that I think is just perfect. It says that the Earth is the stage, and for thousands of years, humanity has been the actor, playing out this incredible drama, shaping and also being shaped by that very stage.
And in the 21st century, the stakes of that drama are, well, higher than they've ever been. Understanding this super intricate relationship, how we use our resources, how we impact the climate, how we manage our shared home, is absolutely fundamentally essential if we have any hope of achieving sustainable development for everybody.
So, that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Geography gives us the tools. It gives us the framework to understand the what, the where, and the why of our world. The challenge now, for all of us, is to actually apply that knowledge. How will we use this powerful way of thinking to build our future on the only stage we've got?